Hi guys, Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and I'm here to share with you a new mini album. This is a design team project for Country Craft Creations, and I am using the exclusive paper collection called Midnight Kiss, and it's a New Year's themed paper collection. Absolutely stunning paper. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will show you this book. So this is going to be part of a new series that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be called the 6x8 series, which means the page designs are 6x8, and you're able to go ahead, create pages. So over time, I'm going to be designing different pages for the books. And if you like one page design, you can grab that and then grab another design from another book, but they will be interchangeable. So just kind of keep a lookout for that. I will create a separate playlist on my YouTube channel, and I will put it as the 6x8 series. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. As you can see how stunning this paper is, absolutely gorgeous. And I use some of the gold foil paper that is in the shop, and it just goes ahead and frames out this paper amazingly. And the paper does kind of have like a goldish color tone to it because it is a New Year's Eve paper. So absolutely stunning. So let me give you some measurements. So the cover itself is 6 3/4 by 8 1/2. And the spine on this particular one happens to be 1 3/4, although you could go to 2 inches if you think you're going to really be chunking it out, because you can see how thick it is. So let me go ahead and walk you through it. So we open up, and on the front cover is just a set of stacked pockets, as you can see. I'm going to leave those out so I can use these along the way. So the first page here, it has a little pocket, and I used some of the cut aparts and made some photo mats for those. And then this opens up, so your cards and photo mats got tucked right in there, and then they makes all this stuff here just close up. So it opens up, and in the paper collection there are pockets and tags that you can go ahead and cut out and use. So I added that right there. Open up, here's a photo mat and another photo mat. Then I also had grabbed the graphic 45 dies with the butterfly wings. So I have this one right here, and I went ahead and created some unique pockets right here with the tags. Now if you don't have the die, you definitely can still go ahead and create this. The pockets that I put on here are just kind of a little extra on top, and room for a pocket over there. And over here, nice room here. You can go ahead and add a photo. There is these little 2 corner pockets right in here where you can go ahead and add your photo mats and stuff like that, which will keep all of this closed. However, I wanted to give you some kind of fun, unique page design. So this opens up just like this, so you can go ahead and put some photos right on there, and then it just closes down. And again, you can go ahead and stick in some photos, and that will keep all that closed up. And then we flip over to this side right here. So this is what I am calling a deconstructed waterfall pages. So you got room for several photos, but I didn't want to do a normal waterfall, so I kind of just I'm kind of calling it deconstructed because it's easy to go ahead and do. So lots of room for photos, different sizes, and then you can also go this way and right here. And then you can also definitely have room for some loose photos. And then the way these all close up, you don't have to worry about anything falling out. And you can definitely add more photos. And then just a little fun bit here. I like how you can kind of see the different elements of the photo mats. And then I just did a very simple little string closure just to keep it all nice and tidy. You don't have to do that. You can just leave it without any if you like. And the last page is a larger photo map flap, and that will keep anything in the corner pocket here secured. If you're worried about stuff falling out the top, the way I put these photo mats here, you can definitely go ahead, put one on the top, and then it would just, you could just go like that and have it closed down. But lots of room for photos in there as well. Then we come over to the back side right here, and go ahead and add some photo mats just like that to the cute little pocket. This is one of the cut aparts, as well as this right here was also part of the cut aparts. And then with the bookmark collection, because you can get the bookmarks. So right here, this super cute one, I thought it just added a nice fun little element to my pocket right here. And then I did puff this one up here, so there is dimension on this. And I used some of the foam dots that I got from the shop to go ahead, and you can kind of see it is raised up a little bit there. And then we just start back over again with the next page. So it is 2 pages, and you can see how pretty this paper collection is. And then my little tags. And if you wanted to too as well, there's the pocket here, but with the tags, I went ahead and created a second pocket. So you can definitely go ahead. There's lots of pocket spaces. I did forget to show you that on the front one, but that one is also the same way. So when we made the pockets here, I just did it in a U shape with the adhesive. That way you have room underneath to go ahead and add more photo mats. Over here, I think this layout here, I love this paper color, the layout of these ones here, and I think it's one of my favorite ones. And again, the photo mats, the photo collage. Very pretty. And I hope you enjoy this album. This one is a cute, fun one, a little simpler for me. It's not a 3D project, so kind of get myself back on track from the holiday season. So I'm giving you something a little less challenging. Nice corner pocket here as well. And then the back here, the cute set of all these couples dancing. And then again, a nice set of stacked pockets right there. Alrighty. And super cute. And then I went ahead and just the whole back, open it up. You can see how pretty that is. And then the gold, just kind of adding that little extra touch to the album. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. The tutorial is following this video. If you have any questions on what I used for the paper as far as decorating, just go ahead and re-watch this and you can see how I matted my book. Alrighty, so anyway, enjoy the tutorial, guys. So let's get started on our pages. Just bear with my cracky voice. It's having some issues. So anyway, let's get ahead and get started. You're going to need your base pages, and you're going to have to cut one 6x8, no score lines, and one 6x9, scoring on the 9-inch side at a 1/2 inch and at 8.5. And let's trim those up. Okay. And give it a fold. And I am actually using the Artisan cardstock. I'm excited because I actually haven't used it before, and I got it on my design team haul. So I'm excited to see how good this works with everybody saying how great it is. I'm really excited. to try it. So we're going to attach it like that. All right, and there is our base page. Let's cut some more pieces. All right, so if I didn't say it, these pieces are A and B, and this is C piece, which is going to be 4 by 8, and then scoring on the 4-inch side a 1/2 inch, and apply tape, and trim this one. Give it a good burnish. So this is what we have. We're going to attach this to the right side on the top. Making sure it's even. All right, and the next piece D is going to be 7 1/4 by 5 7/8. This one you're going to need to make 2 score lines, and on the 5 7/8 side you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score at 5 5/8. So you have a very little score line right there. You can see it better there. That's what you're going to have. I like to fold all the way on the one furthest away first because it is such a small one. So I always like to do the furthest one. And then the next one. This one is smaller, so you don't need to trim anything on this one. So I'm going to fold it like this. So you can see my little gusset one right here. That's that. And I'm going to set this, I'm going to just center it. And stick it down. And then just fold this back. So now you can see it has right here. We're going to build up inside here, so we need a little bit of room to go ahead and give it some space to move. All right, our next piece is piece E, and this one is going to be 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. You're going to score on all 4 sides at a 1/2 inch. And what we're going to do is we're making a corner pocket, so we're going to cut from here to here. That's what we have. And then we're going to fold back. Oops. Now we're going to put a fun little element on the top here, but we need to put pattern paper first. So we're going to open those up, and these little guys are going to go right here. You want to put down your right side first, and then your left side. Make sure it's even. Oops. It's going to be really fun what we're going to put up there. It's going to be really neat. I'm excited to try it and see what it will do. All right, now we're going to be working on the front of this piece here. All right, so then our next piece is we are going to have piece G, which is 6 1/4 by 4 3/4, scoring on a 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 inch side. And then another piece that's almost the same, slightly different. This is 6 1/4 by 4 7/8. This one, again, is going to have 2 score lines at a 1/2 inch and 5/8 on the 4 7/8 side. So you're going to have that little gusset. Where we need that because we're going to add some layers under this. So fold on those ones and then this guy. All right. So for this one here, we're going to be working on this flap here. So there's our center pockets. We're working on the flap that's on the left. We are going to go ahead and take the one without the extra score lines on it. So this has just got the single score line, and that is going to go right here. So that's going to go on this top flap. Just center it to the area. Like that. So now this is kind of what you have. This piece is going to go on the opposite side. So this one's going on the left side, folding it so you can see your extra score line there, but right now you're just folding it to the first one closest to the cut edge. I'm going to set it on top, and I'm lining it up even with this one right here. So as you can see now, oops, we are building up an area that we can go ahead and add some fun stuff to. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and flip over to the back, and we are going to work on the back side. So for that piece, you're going to need piece L, which is 8 by 6 3/4. And on that piece, you're going to score on the 6 3/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch and at 3/4. So we're making quite a big gusset right there. And we can fold. This one we can trim down. So I'm going from score line right there. And on the other side, I did the same thing. So for this piece here, this is our page. We're going to, so right here is where we open up. Whoops. So we're going to go ahead and stick this inside, making sure the tape is facing you so you don't seal your pocket off. Oops. Make sure you test it. Once it looks good, stick it for real. And there we go. So we can open that up. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create our photo collage. It's kind of my version of a deconstructed waterfall. So we're going to put a bunch of photo mats all over here. So to start off, you're going to need piece M. You need 3 pieces that are going to be 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. And on those, you're going to score on the 4 3/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch. You need 3 of those. You need 4 pieces that are going to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and scoring on the 3 3/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch. And then you need 2 of them that are going to be 5 3/4 by 3 1/4, And on those, you're going to score on the 5 3/4 at a 1/2 inch. So you have those. So let's get started. We are going to start with the bigger one, so piece M. So we're going to start off this piece here is going to go on the flat part right there. So set that, center it to the space, or whatever way you want. It's a photo mat, so you can put it any way you want to. There's that one. And I put it to the right of that score line so you can see it'll fold nice. The next one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it on this side, on the left side of those two score lines. So we don't want to add any bulk, so it's going to go on this piece here. And put it wherever you want. I'm just going to angle it down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go down a little more. So I have that one like that. And then the third one, I am going to go ahead and put up here. And I'm going to keep the same distance as I did down here, up here roughly. I just kind of like the nice layered look. I have that. Now we're going to go ahead and use piece N, which is the 4 of these photo mats here that are 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to start using these ones. Let's just fold them all first. All right, so we're going to open this up. This one we're going to put on the bottom. And that's where I put that one, so a little space there. And then I just actually worked out where it's lined up against that one, so it's like exactly a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to put one on the top. So I'm going to put it closer to the inside. So like this, so when you have everything in here now, you can have loose photo mats. They won't fall out either from the top, the bottom, or either side. So now for this one here, you're going to take your next one. And on this flap here, I'm going to put it all the way to the edge. So they kind of are layered upon each other. So, oops. So when you have this, it can open up like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the top side here. So now you have some fun layering. So look at all those nice layers there. All right, and then the last piece are these two pieces here that are piece O, that are 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and we scored at a 1/2 inch on the 5 3/4. And these pieces here, we're going to go ahead and put it on the top. So I'm just turning it. So it's going to have a little fun play with the photo mats with all the flips. And then this one on the bottom. And I'm actually going to line them up the same. So these will fold down like that. So when you go ahead now and close everything, you can see all those fun layers that we're going to have to add photo mats or just decorate. So now the only thing left here is a little corner pocket right there. So that's going to be piece P. All right, so piece P is going to be 6 by 6, scoring on all 4 sides at a 1/2 inch. We're making a corner pocket, so we're going to cut from here to here. Okay, you have this. Save this piece. You can use this for your second page. And this one here, we can go ahead and trim up. Okay. This is going to go right over here. All right, and then this photo flap here will keep anything from falling out of the pocket here. If you wanted to, you could always put another photo mat up at the top to keep stuff enclosed. That is entirely your decision. Anyway, it folds all up just like this, and this is what we have. So go ahead and make one more, and this is going to be a 2-page book, so make one more, which I know I'm making something simple. Can you believe it? But yes, make one more, and then we will go ahead and start construction for the covers. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to make our cover. I am not going to specify any measurements for this because I want to keep this as a generic video, because I find a lot of times that I have to keep making this part and it's the same steps over and over. So I'm just going to use one video, and I'm just going to add this to all of my tutorials. So for the measurements for your album cover that you need to make, you can go ahead and look down in the description box on YouTube to see what size you need to make. Your size may be different depending on what size cover we're making, but all the steps are identical. So what you want to do is cut your cardstock 2 inches bigger, so that way you can do 1 inch all the way around. So say your cover is 8 by 8, your cardstock would be 10 by 10. So you're just going to add 2 inches to whatever measurement you're making for that. I'm going to use the 1 inch spacers. Apply score tape to the full back. Set it down just like that. If you don't have the spacers, you can also go ahead and do score lines. I recommend the spacers just because I love to have tools, but if you don't have them, you can go ahead and make 1 inch lines. So do a 1 inch like that, rotate and do another 1 inch line, and then you have your score lines just like that, and then just go ahead and do the same thing. And place that in between your score lines. Just like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and add tape all around the perimeter. All right, so I went ahead and added tape. So now I'm going to cut off my corners. Any of the tools that I use will be down in the description box. So if you're wondering what I'm using any point along the way, that's where you can find out. And last one. If you don't have any tools either, you can go ahead and cut. And I'll show you on the last one. So you are cutting, leaving about a 1/4 inch or so, or 1/8 of an inch rather. So what you would do is just line it up and cut it just like that. But I have the tools, so I use the tools. And go ahead, and I like to crease on all 4 corners, and then go ahead and fold it down. Make sure it's good and stuck. And the other side. Make sure you push those ends. Give them a good push down. That way there's no bulk. And then I like to take and press down in this area here to try to eliminate some of the overlapping that you get. And this one. That one's done. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this one. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do our spine piece. Same idea, cutting it 2 inches bigger than your spine. Your cardstock is 2 inches, and apply tape to the whole back. I'm going to do this one a little differently. I will show you. Sometimes I struggle with the doing it the other way, so we're going to do something new. Apply tape. All right, I applied tape all the way around. I'm going to trim this up. And same thing, I'm going to go ahead and fold it all. Do these, which do I want to do first? We'll do the sides first. If you're making, if the spine happens to be thinner, you may want to not do a whole inch because you don't want a whole lot of overlapping. But this one's not too bad. If it was anything less than 1 3/4, I would definitely cut the cardstock a little shorter. And make sure you fold it all down. You want to make sure there's not a lot of, you want to get that as smooth as possible. Okay, and all right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so I cut a piece of cardstock. My cardstock is just a smidge shorter, like a 1/16 of an inch shorter than what my covers are. So just like that. So the first step you're going to want to do is go ahead, make a mark at 2 inches. Okay, and then actually I need to add tape. Let me add tape to that. Okay, so I went ahead and added tape to my spine. You can see the back side is the smooth side. That's the part that's going to be outside of the book. All right, so back to it. We have our cardstock that's cut just a 1/16 of an inch smaller than our covers, making a score line 2 inches. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my spine piece. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of glue and a little bit of tape. If I can get my glue to work. Well, let's get that to work first. All right, so I got this unplugged. All right, so now we have our 2 inch score line, and I'm going to go ahead and set this right up against that score line. And remember that you cut your pattern paper your cardstock just a little shorter, and I didn't make it even. So let's try it again. All right, so there we go. So you can see I am, get it in the light, right there and right there. Okay, and then for this piece here, what I want to do is cut over 2 inches. So what I did was I just put it in my paper trimmer, and I put this part in the trimmer and then just made 2 inches right there. And we can go ahead now and just put a little score line down there. Just that way you'll get some, it'll go ahead and fold nice. Give it a good burnish. And what I want to do now is go ahead and add some tape. All right, so I went ahead and added tape. You can see I didn't go quite to the edge here. And I also added tape to my covers. So these, when you put them on, the tape will get up against here. So first thing I want to do is I want to do a little trimming. So I am going to, so I have about a 1/4 inch right here. So I'm just going to angle this. So you can see just like that. Because I want to leave a little bit for it to, so I have a little bit just like that, just because I want the book to go on here like that. So now what I can do is take this off. And stick that right on. And then the other side. So like that. And then I'm just going to slowly, because we did make those score lines, nice. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold it down a little bit so it won't crack. Do it to both sides. And there we go. That's how we make the cover. All right, we're going to go ahead and make our binding system. You're going to need a piece that is 8 by 8 3/4. 8 is going to go, is the height of our books. So we're going to go ahead and put this in your scoreboard at the 8 3/4 inch side. We're only making 2 pages, so we only need 2 hinges. We're going to score it 2, 3, 4. We're going to have a 3/4 inch spacing, so you're going to go 4 3/4, and then 5 3/4, and 6 3/4, and that'll leave you the 2 inches on that side. And let's just go ahead and fold everything down first. And I like to make sure that my paper is lined up top and bottom when I fold it. And then I'm just going to go back the opposite way. That will help your pages flow nice too. Just like that. Okay, they're all folded. Let's add some tape. So I'm going to the first one. Let's get this. Let me show you. And then, so right here where you have your score lines, there's the first one. This one's going to attach to this. This is our space in between our pages. So then we're going to go to the next one. So now what we're going to do is just fold them onto each other. And then this one. And there is our 2 hinges. All right, so now you have your 2 hinges, just like that. Now what I would like to do is go ahead. Now, because of my hinges, I want to make a little mark at a 1/2 inch down. So my grid here is 1 inch squares, so 1/2 inch. So you can see just like that. And I'm going to do it to both hinges. And that's really just going to be a guide. And I'm going to add some tape. Okay. that on just like that. And now what I want to do is trim. So from basically your little 1/2 inch mark, just trim it up. Okay, that's what we have. We're going to apply tape to the whole back of this. All right, so I applied tape to the whole back. What I want to do first is I want to make a mark in the center of here. So 1/4, 1/4. So roughly your center point is going to be 3/8. And these are just guide marks. You just erase them afterwards. So I found the center right there. You can see the pencil mark. And we do the same thing right here. So this is so 7/8. Looks like my center, right? Yep, 7/8. And then this book is 8.5 inches, and my binding is 8 inches, so I'm going to go up 1/4 inch. So I'm going to make a mark here. So I have a pencil mark there. Here's my center point, and right there is the other one, and then at the top. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up all my dots. So you can see that that pencil mark will line up there, and then the 2 sides. That will come right down on top. So let's go ahead and stick it down. So I line up the 1/4 inch for the bottom spacing, and then the centers. And once I know I'm good, I'm going to lift up on this a little bit so I can get this creased in. And then I'm just going to work those. And then the same thing with the other side. I'm going to bend it up. Make sure it's all stuck down. And then just slowly keep working it, so that way the fibers will kind of break down so they don't tear. And then we can just erase all of our pencil marks everywhere. Easier to do it now than try to do it later. And we can add our pages. And take our first page. This is right here, so this should fit on here, just like that. Oops. It never goes as easy once you take the tape off. That one, and then our second page. just like that. Test it, that's good. And there's that one. And there we go. And lots of room. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give my voice a rest because it is killing me right now. And I'm going to do a little bit of decorating, and I'll show you in a bit. All right, so now it's time to start one of the steps. So this is going to be piece F that we skipped over when we originally made our pages. So that is going to go here, and let me show you what it's going to look like. So right here, didn't that one come out so pretty? I used one of the cut aparts, and then I bordered it with the gold paper, which is absolutely stunning on it. I used the foam dots here to kind of puff this up a little bit here, and then I didn't want my envelope to be so flat. I wanted this to have dimension too, so I added one of these to the back of the envelope, and it looks super cute. So anyway, and then I did some gold border around this one, but I'll show you all that. You would have seen it in the walkthrough in the beginning, but it just makes it super pretty, and the gold with this paper collection is perfect. So the part that we're going to work on right now is this piece right here, and it will fold open for photo mats. I still have some more decorating to do on those, but it folds down, and then when you put in photo mats and stuff in these pockets, it'll keep all that folded down. And as you can see, I went ahead and did some gold paper here as well as in the background. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and do that. So folds all up. And this right here. So I went ahead and put down, you have to put your pattern paper on first. You need to do that. So that's what I did right there. And you need a piece that is 8 by 8 of your black cardstock. And you're going to score this in half. So 8 by 8. And we're going to do 4. Rotate it and do another 4 inches. Just like that. So you have 4 squares. And then what you want to do is turn it. So now I have a black line on my scoreboard here. So I'm basically going to put one point there and make sure the other point is down here. So it is lined up. And I'm just going to go ahead and score right down the middle. So you can see that's what I have. And for this piece here, we're just going to go ahead and fold it off, making sure when you're folding it, it is going to be squared off. So now is the time, if it's not perfect, to make it perfect. And then the other way, same thing. And then I always like to go backwards. Just helps it fold better. So you fold those two, and then your one that you did down the center, same thing, you're going to fold this one. And then I'm going to fold it the opposite way. And this is currently what you have, so then this is how you would just get it to fold. So you have it like this. And you just fold it down. And then when you attach it, it's just going to pop open like this. Real easy. So what I did, so this is obviously because it's 8 and we scored in the middle, 4 inches. I cut a little piece, oh, you can see me. I cut a little piece here that is 4 1/8 because I only want just a very little border. So we can go ahead and stick that down. So I'm going to add some tape. That gold paper is super pretty though. And it adds a nice little finishing touch to it. So I'm going to stick down one side first, so get it all lined up. And I got to move it a little closer to me so I can see, because it is literally a smidge all the way around. And I can just remove the tape for the rest of it. And there we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and add it right on here, just like that. Perfect. And then stick it down. So we'll add some more tape. And last piece. Make sure when you do stick it down that you know which part is the bottom, because you don't want to put it on the wrong way. I mean, you could open it up like this if you wanted to. You can do anything you want, actually. I think it would work either way. So I want mine to open up. So I'm going to go ahead and add it in where I want it to, where it looks even to me. And I'm lining up to here. It looks good. I think I have my tape on. Get it loosened up first. I literally knew my phone was going to do that too. I just looked at it and I said, I bet I'm going to get a message. That looks good. All right, and that's how you do that page. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish decorating it. All right, and the other piece that we didn't add originally was piece I when we made our pages. And that's because we are going to use this cute, absolutely beautiful pocket die from the Graphic 45 dies. I am using this is Tag Pocket and Butterfly dies. Can't wait to use the butterfly dies, but this one here is using the little pocket die, and I went ahead and added those right here, so those are on top of this piece, and then I'll make the tags still to go inside there, and so then you actually have space for a pocket here and a pocket here, and then they all will close down, whoops, this way. So this one is going to go on this section right here. So I need to go ahead, add pattern paper and cut these out, and then I'll show you how to do that part. All right, so I am going to go ahead and cut out. So the nice part about this die is I already know the direction and everything that I need my pockets to face. So I wouldn't want to do it this way because my pockets are going to look weird because now they'll be sideways. So I know that I'm going to have my pockets face in this direction. So I'm focusing on what I can see in this area. Now, if you don't have these dies yet, you do not have to use them. I didn't design, I left this pocket here. You can just leave it alone the way it is. However, I am going to go ahead and throw the dies on top for some extra pockets. And I'm using some washi tape just to hold it in place while I throw it through my machine. All right, and I have that just like that. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my edges, but then you have all your little tabs you can fold right down. And there you go. There's the little pocket. Now you can either take it and glue, put glue or tape here on the little flaps and stick it down like this. Or you can also do it where you do this first and then put these to the back. I would just burnish it a little bit down to make sure it stays nice and flat. If you do it that way, then you don't actually have to worry about your paper getting hung up. Sometimes when you stick things in, your tags and stuff might get caught on this because of the layers of the paper. But if you do it through the back, it'll slide right down through and you won't even have to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one more out and then we'll add them to the book. All right, so I have them cut out. I inked all of my edges and I'm going to go ahead and just fold them up like this and attach to the back. And of course my glue, every time. It only plugs up when I'm on camera. There. Right there. Okay. Let that one dry a second, and then this one, same thing. Oops. Huh. Now it comes out. There's that. Okay. And so now what I want to do is I want to make sure that these pockets are going to line up even. So what I did was I just measured the space in here, which is 2 1/4 inches. So just like that. And I'm going to, let me use some bigger tape. So put one piece of tape on. You could use glue if you want. Then I'm going to leave a little space. Not much, just about 16th, 16th, 8th inch, 18th. Just a tiny little sliver. And that is that way so the tape doesn't show through the pockets. Like that. And what I want to do is make sure I know which way they're going to go on. So they're going to go like this. So that means this piece has to go here. So the first one. So I'm lining it right up almost past the tape line because I just don't want tape to show through. So if you do full tape coverage, if you do full tape coverage and the pockets don't line up tight, you'll see the tape and you don't really want to see the sticky part of the tape. And then my second one, I'm just going to butt it up again. So I'm using the lines here on my desk just to make sure that I am going to have it straight across. So it goes straight. And then you can see why, because there's just a very little bit of the black showing right there. And if you had the tape, you would see the shiny from the tape. And then all this is going to do is get put over the top just like that. So you don't really see all this. So if you are making the pockets, you could just get away with a strip right here if you wanted to. And I have that. And then I'm just going to apply glue along the outside to make it a pocket. You could use tape. Unfortunately, with the tape, sometimes when you do put things in the pocket, it will get stuck. So I'm just going to do a little bead of glue. Just like that. And then I just don't want it to smush out too far into my pocket, because I want to make sure I keep as much room in this area here to go ahead and actually put things in my pocket. And then it's just going to get lined up on top and just push it down. And that's how that is. And then I'm going to let it dry, but you'll have a pocket here and then a pocket here. So that's how we're going to go ahead and do eyepiece. Or you can eliminate that piece if you don't have the die and just go ahead and leave it as the pocket as it is. All right, so for our front and back covers, we're just going to go ahead and create a set of simple little stacked pockets. So I did the front one, and we'll do the back one together. So what you need is a piece of cardstock that is 7.5 by 3.5. You're going to score on a 1/2 inch on each end and the bottom, so 1/2 inch and at 7. Rotate in the 3.5, score at a 1/2 inch. And then the second piece is going to be 7.5 by 2.5. Same method, scoring 1/2 inch on each end at a 1/2 inch and at 7. And then rotate it in the 2.5 and score at a 1/2 inch. And we're going to go ahead and trim these up and stick them down. Okay, and then just fold them. Give them a good burnish. And then the top piece, you just need to do the sides. And we're going to put this on the bottom. And it should fit pretty much all the way across, giving you a nice big pocket. And then this one will just fit inside, so let me loosen those up. So go ahead and place the pocket inside, making sure we're good. And there we go. And we just need to decorate. We have that. I did go ahead and add some pattern paper to the front parts of my photo collage page, just to keep it all close together. That way it doesn't open up. So I just did a real simple little closure with the strings. And then we have that. And then this way nothing will fall out. Plus it won't be flapping around. All right, so now I'm just going to decorate those. All right, let me show you how cute the cover came out. I used some of that gold paper to kind of border this. And I couldn't decide on which side that I wanted for my cover, because I really liked this, but I didn't think that had enough to it. So, and I like this one, so this is kind of what I did, was kind of wrapped it, and that gold paper is just phenomenal on there. Same with like all the other pages where I did add it to. It just kind of adds a little more wow to it. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead, see what maybe else I can do to the cover, but I am about to wrap up this tutorial. So that's what I ended up doing on the cover. I just used one of the cut apart cards to go ahead and add it to that. Anyway, the tutorial is all done. You can see there is lots of fun goodies in this book. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And again, this is going to be part of the 6x8 series, which will be albums created around a 6x8 page design. And this way you can mix and match the different designs that you see that I'm going to be creating over time. It's not going to be back-to-back albums, but every once in a while when I create one, I will add it to the series for page designs. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.